Hello. So I want to share on something that I've been working through recently. And it's just this notion of trying to do too much. And I recently was expressing to someone that I feel like I am doing a lot of things, but I'm not doing anything well. I'm sure you guys have probably heard that statement before, but I feel like that had become my reality. So it wasn't necessarily that I feel like I was struggling with being idle. It was just like I just felt like I was all over the place, and not necessarily in terms of location, but in my mind I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I gonna make this work, how am I gonna make that work, and oh, let me research this, let me research that. And I was just felt like I was all over the place and didn't necessarily have focus. And I have shunned this notion, at least in speech, but not necessarily in practice. I have often shunned the notion that, you could do anything that you put your mind to. And I don't buy into that, right? At least my mouth was saying that, but my action was saying otherwise, because I do feel like there are seasons to everything, and that we can't do every single thing possible that we put our mind to in every single season of life, because we're just not created to always be on goal. And you're going to crash at some point in time or become an anxious mess. So even though with my lips I was telling people and shunning this notion of you could do anything and just go after it, I really was not living what I was telling people not to do, right? So I, of course, just in prayer and the conviction of the Lord, I had to do like a lot of backtracking and saying, okay, help me to prioritize correctly, because what I am realizing more and more is that events in our lives are not just isolated, right? They impact us, and they're all connected. So you may feel like, okay, you know what? Me trying to do everything may not impact the way that I eat, but it absolutely does, because what I found was that when I was trying to do everything and just coming to the end of the day and feeling so disappointed, because I felt like, okay, I did so many things, but there's no end product, right? And that was frustrating. And that's because I wasn't necessarily just focused on one thing. I was all over the place. So I had all these, tasks that were incomplete, and there was not that satisfaction at the end of the day to say, yes, we nailed it, we did this well, right? And not from a prideful stance, but from just being productive, which, I've said it before, busyness does not mean that you are productive at all. That's not being productive at all. Being busy is not being productive. So I was busy, but I wasn't productive, and I would just feel so deflated. And I noticed that there was a little small week there where, I buy the keto ice cream for my family from Costco, and they are absolutely delicious. But I know that I need to stay away from them. But I noticed that when I was feeling scattered, that those keto ice cream bars were looking extremely tempting, and I gave into them, not necessarily because I was hungry, but it was because of where I was, and just feeling just like, ugh, whatever, I just didn't accomplish much, and I'm all over the place. So my point in that example is back to what I was saying originally. Sometimes we feel like what's going on in our lives are isolated events, and we don't see how they impact each other. So my productivity can have a great impact on what I am craving, and what I want to eat. So I just, have gotten my act together, and, just have been more prayerful concerning, God, show me how to prioritize correctly, and to be realistic, and not to drink this Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid that they're given, saying that, girl, you could do it all. You a strong woman. What does that even have to do with anything, right? Wisdom says you pace yourself correctly, and you pursue purpose, right? And you are intentional with how you live your day, not just grasping for every single thing. And I am just realizing, even for myself personally, that it's also about discerning seasons, right? So there's certain things that may be on my heart now to do, but realistically, I can't do it. I don't have the bandwidth. I am limited in what I am able to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't revisit, right, these things later on in its God ordained season for my life. So it's just that balance of, okay, God, let me remain prayerful to know when I'm supposed to pursue certain things. But for today, what am I supposed to focus on? And, back to this, even how we eat, that it can impact us in a great way if, again, we're just all over the place. And like I said, I had, had a good week where I just was, man, going to town with those keto ice cream bars. And I paid the price. I absolutely paid the price. But I had to recognize what the source of that thing was, right? What was it that was triggering those cravings for me, and kind of bring myself back into the right frame of mind. So anyway, it's been a while since I've done one of these little sit down talks, but I just wanted to share that with you because I just feel like in our society today, where we've been just fed this lie that being busy is being productive, and being always busy and pursuing 10,000 things is a great thing, and that you can do it all. And I feel like we just mess ourselves up on so many levels, and we end up prioritizing incorrectly, right? So, anyway, just want to share that. And with all of that said, I'll also love to just share with you some of the meals that I've had so far this week. All right, you be blessed. So for this meal, I had some ground beef with chicken liver pate mixed together. So delicious and filling. Then right here, I have a piece of steak with some suet. And then I made some broth using chicken feet in my Instant Pot. And for some of the broth I stored in the freezer, but right here I'm just making a soup that I've made before and shared on this channel. I just add the broth, some eggs and tallow, and super filling and delicious. Right here we have just some chicken and steak and shrimp right here, steak pieces and shrimp. And then finally, right here, I have some ground beef with suet. So anyway, that is it. I hope you are well. You be blessed.